Hello everyone, my name's Kerry Rose. I'm working marketing here at Netcall. Today I'm joined by Richard and Dave. Would you like to introduce yourself, Richards?
Hi, I'm Richard Farrell. I'm Chief Innovation Officer at Netcall. So I get to look at interesting new technologies and opportunities to help our customers automate and improve customer experience.
Excellent. And Dave?
Yeah, thanks, Kerry. My name's Dave Patman. I'm the MD of Solution Development at Go Beyond Partners. We're a specialist consulting business that focuses on customer journey and customer experience transformation. So delighted to be here today.
Excellent. So today we're going to be discussing Agile Automation, a human-centered approach. We're planning on doing this in just 15 minutes, so let's get straight to it. First of all, what do we mean by human-centered? Dave, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, thanks. So if I reflect on this, at Go Beyond Partners, we've designed, led and supported clients on numerous automation projects, ranging in scale from major transformation programs to small individual targeting one or more processes. And on a few occasions, we get asked to come in and help to recover a project that perhaps has run into issues or isn't delivering against the original business case. And invariably what we find is that the underlying causes of issues are human rather than technology by nature. So when we talk about a human-centered approach, we're referring to designing that takes account of the experience of customers and colleagues. So if the automation is detrimental to the customer experience, for example, removing access to support for those customers that really value or need it, or the automation itself is impacting colleagues, so not necessarily considering how those that have to work with the automation will be impacted, or indeed not thinking about those roles might end up being replaced by the automation and how they're going to react to it and potentially create barriers. If we don't think about these things, then our view is that no matter how strong the technology is, the project may be doomed to failure. So having a human-centered approach actually, in our view, increases the likelihood of success and accelerates the delivery of a return on the project investment.
And Richard, what's your take on this?
Yeah, we certainly see that the most successful projects with which we're involved are people-centric, and there are pretty obvious reasons for that, but many processes involve people, and frontline staff are often a critical part of customer journeys. Certainly when they're having interactions with customers, this is where a lot of broken processes are exposed, and they play a key role in process discovery as well, because your staff know the points of friction and process failures. They know what systems work well, those systems that require you to rekey data and manual wait states and so on. So definitely get people involved in the design, and there are many benefits from this, and research shows that enabled employees, so employees that have the tools for their job, believe their companies deliver better customer experience, and they also believe they're more productive as well. And we've also changes in the skill set of employees. So as we move forward, we also have the opportunity for these people to contribute more in terms of the design as well. We've got people who have grown up with tablets and responsive design and UIs. They've known nothing else. So we've got people with skills that can also help in this design process as well.
And it's not just about people, is it? It's about the technology as well. So how does this approach affect our technology choices?
Yeah, well, as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, you could use spreadsheets, but you need to have the right tools for the jobs. And it's tough out there for customers. There's a bewildering array of technologies, and there's hundreds of vendors that will claim automation, and everybody's got a low code everything. We need to drill down to what this really means. We're looking at technologies to democratize and widen the scope of development. Key goal for most of our customers at the moment is speed. They need to get applications delivered quickly. They need process improvement. They need brand new processes. But many of our customers are in critical industries, health, government, And so we also need solutions to be robust and scalable, enterprise grade, if you like. One of the things that helps with speed is ease of use, and that applies across all sorts of different applications and projects. There's a term that we use which is citizen developers, and this again is about using people with the right skills to be involved in the process. And of course there are a couple of prerequisites in terms of technology. It needs to be cloud native if you want to be really rapid and agile. You need to play nicely and integrate with legacy systems as well. One other tip, if you need speed, you really want a self-contained application platform. So you don't want to have to go back to your IT change control stack for database administrators to work on setting up new databases for you on existing infrastructure and so on. You need a self-contained cloud platform where you can just get going. And ideally, you should just be able to try it. There shouldn't be much in terms of obligation. It's quite easy with cloud technologies to spin up these instances. So, you know, if you've got real questions, try it out.
Excellent. So going back to the title of this webinar then, Agile Automation, how do you set yourself up for success in terms of agility? Dave?
Yeah, so we have a kind of 3-step process or model that we follow, which you can see on the screen here. So in our view, it has to start with a coherent automation strategy. It's really important that the business understands the goals that it's seeking to achieve through the automation, and in terms of a defined set of outcomes, but also the strategy around the operating model or the organization design, if you like, that will sit behind it. So understanding if you're creating a center of excellence potentially to share knowledge, best practice across different teams that might be working locally on the automation in their own individual areas, and also your strategy for partners. So companies such as Netcall, you know, how are you interacting with them? How are you bringing them into the project? And then you actually then need to design the approach to automation and the journeys themselves. So for us, it's really key that you look at automation in the context of end-to-end journeys and processes. And actually something that we spend a lot of time on with clients is working on those processes prior to automation. So our view is that you shouldn't seek to automate broken or inefficient or ineffectual processes. You should actually look to simplify, wherever possible, to eliminate steps in a process, and if possible to combine processes, and then to automate, and understand that you may not be automating end to end. There may be handoffs between automation into human work and then back to automation again. So considering all of these possible solutions. And then finally, you know, the element that is absolutely crucial is the selection of the technology. And the selection of the technology needs to facilitate the design that you're seeking to achieve and the strategy that you're looking to implement. And thinking around the agility of that technology and the ability to share best practice across users and to adopt that idea of, you know, best of breed work. Underneath that, the organization needs to be set up for agile working. So these typically are not classic waterfall projects. They're ones where rapid test and learn, sort of that model office and lab approach works very well. And you know, you need to think about your organizational capability, not just what the IT team are doing and the people that are trained to work in the tools, but actually the full life cycle around that design, delivery, and the operation, and working alongside automation technology.
That all sounds great. It does sound like it could be chaos. So how do you balance this human-centered agile approach with the governance and controls? Richard, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so firstly, I'd agree with everything that Dave has to say in terms of the priorities. And it's hard for us to say as a technology vendor, but the technology really does come last, is strategy, then the processes, and then you get to the technology. And some of the best results we have seen have been with real collaborations and centres of excellence. And by collaboration, I mean the business units and also IT. And it's really great to see. I've been in meetings where rather than the IT team in the traditional manner telling the business what software they're going to get, it's a centre of excellence briefing IT about what's going to be happening next. So it's a different way. It's turning up its head. However, the groups do have their own specialist skills, and we try to have some demarcation within our applications to actually really put people in the correct roles and specialize their tools and studios for their purposes. So within our Liberty Create low code platform, for example, we have a build studio, which is for a wide range of users, a code studio, which is for more technical users, and then a test studio, which is for testing. And then above that, we have a controller, which is for monitoring and governance. And this is something which is really for IT to look after. It's part of the standard technology estate. And this is where you would integrate wants with things like single sign-on and other types of enterprise system. So you can do that once at the IT layer and then reuse those components in your applications. So it is about collaboration, but there are specialisms in different parts of the business. So use them. The business is going to be closer to the customers, closer to the journeys, closer to the challenges. But of course, IT do have specialisms in all the good things like security and governance and control. So we should use the best from both functions. It's a collaboration. It's not throwing requirements over a fence and waiting a couple of years for something to come back.
Dave, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I think there's one interesting thing, which is I know a lot of people are frightened of agile methodology and governance, but actually in our view, they're not mutually exclusive. In fact, the reverse is often true, that if you are following an agile methodology, then you have a rigorous process for identifying the user stories and the backlog that you want to work on. You have a really structured process of saying what you are taking into the next sprint, what the deliverables for that sprint are, what the resources and organization around that sprint is, and you have a clearly ascribed product owner who has the authority to sign off on whether or not the sprint deliverable has been met, and if you are shipping the minimum viable product that was defined for that sprint. So actually using this more agile approach, providing you are building in those decision points and feedback and review, can actually give you a stronger sense of governance, perhaps rather than a once a month steerco committee that might be slightly remote and distant from the work of the project itself.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you both. I think that's been a really interesting conversation today. And I just want to quickly summarise what we've been talking about by looking at this framework for success when it comes to a human-centred approach to agile automation. So just starting with the customers there, look at the ideal end-to-end journey from the customer's point of view and make it as simple as possible. When you look at your colleagues, what's the impact automation is going to have on them? And look at your operating model. Is it fit for purpose? When it comes to the method, make sure you simplify before you automate. Otherwise, you'll end up automating bad processes. And adopt a test and learn model. And when it comes to the solution, collaboration with IT and the business is key. It'd be great to carry on this conversation. We're going to be around for the next 15 minutes or so. So please do follow the links in the chat and we can move to breakout rooms. If you're at the beginning of your journey, join the Go Beyond room hosted by Dave Hayward to discuss strategy and design. But if you're a bit further along in your journey, join the Netcall room hosted by Tommy Lai to discuss methodology and technology choices. I hope you found this session really useful today. Hope to speak to some of you soon. So thank you very much to our speakers. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Richards.